Hello, everyone. It's Vasilios Lambos, and we're back with Designing Digital Excellence with a new episode. Frankly, I've been quiet on the podcast for about the last couple of years while I focused on another startup of mine in the media ad tech space. But besides the fact, we are back and we're going to talk about some pretty awesome topics for the day. Today, we'll dive into the state of the digital advertising market, where the trends are going for the year and the coming years, frankly, post COVID. Then we'll dial in a little bit about what the environment looks like for advertisers and small businesses that are struggling to see the results that they want, and what are the challenges associated with marketing technology today. Then we'll wrap it with a little bit of conversations around some of the buzzwords trending in the industry. Big ones still revolving around customer data platforms, or CDPs. We're not going to let that die in 2024. So might as well talk to what that looks like for small business again, and enterprise, or mid-market, which is a pretty specialized area for our agency, Lambos Digital. And so that'll be the episode for today. We'll title it the State of the Union for Digital Advertising in 2024. Now, to begin, digital advertising in Q1 was really hot, and the call outs from some of the earnings we've seen really revolve around a few of the bigger players that recently reported earnings. You have Meta, Facebook ads, Alphabet or Google, as well as Snapchat. And we'll talk about why Snapchat becomes such an interesting topic, not just from a revenue standpoint or opportunity for advertisers, but also the audiences that may exist in a platform like Snapchat. And again, our background, my personal background over the past 10 years has been focused exclusively on paid media. I like to say I'm the financial advisor for businesses needing help on managing the dollars they're spending on their advertising. So what does Meta results look like? Well, they've seen 27% growth in their advertising revenue for the quarter. That was pretty significant. Snapchat saw subsequently 21%, was probably the largest increase they've had over the past couple of years. Really shines a light on the growth and revival of Snapchat as a media buying opportunity. And Google, 13%, incrementally positive, as they were saying, but really strong overall when you think about the billions of dollars being spent across those channels today. And there are obviously other opportunities that I haven't mentioned that are seeing subsequent growth that have yet to, Amazon and such have also likely grown as well. But the big piece here is to really focus on channels that we're seeing sort of creep back into the space and provides advertisers diversification. Now, like again, I make the comparison to a financial advisor. Diversification is very important if you're looking to find media arbitrage opportunities that are going to be cost effective for the business, but also provide long-term opportunity for the lifetime value of the customers you're looking to advertise to. Now, Snapchat in particular has generally skewed to a younger audience and remains to hold about 800 million monthly active users. And so the audience base there has been pretty strong. And when we think about brands that are looking to media buy, we're constantly getting an increase in the interest that even small businesses have to build their brand. My assumption here is that we are becoming more conditioned as a market to digital advertising, digital media, whether that's social media. I know many people who spend probably on average 8 hours a day on Instagram or Facebook, even inclusive of even LinkedIn, hours and hours a day browsing through their news feeds. And it's hard to stand out as a local business when frankly put, the competition is sky high. Many brands are buying into just branding as a strategy, which could be a video ad or an influencer based testimonial for the business and translating that to their online advertising. So Snapchat becomes interesting because the audience is so young and the channel is yet to really reach what I like to call the fat middle of um, media dollars. And so when you look at that media mix, people who are adding what we call like an incremental channel, a net new channel to their media plan, they may be 60% Google, 40% Facebook, and they'll carve off 20% from their Facebook social media spend to spend across a channel like Snapchat. And the beauty of that is the cost metrics tend to be much lower given there's less competition, but also the opportunity to get in front of a younger audience, which in turn may provide a lot more longevity for your market as those users grow in age and as they become acclimated to your brand. So really excited for Snapchat. And I think that's going to be a really interesting space to play for advertisers today. Full transparency, it still remains to be a very underutilized channel for a lot of our clients, at Lambos Digital, which again is a pretty small agency. So I can't really say that we have sort of an industry-wide pulse, but just looking at those earnings and looking at the results and some of the data that exists, you can see that Snapchat's becoming a force to reckon with. And if you follow some of their leadership on LinkedIn, you'll notice that they've seen some substantial growth, specifically as it pertains to small business. And small business, in my eyes, is a business that'll spend less than $10,000 a month in digital advertising. And we call that long tail. So it's the additional dollars that those smaller advertisers are going to spend to move the needle, but accounts for a very significant size of the market. So we don't ever want to exclude the value of long tail and small business advertisers, as they do make up majority of the market. So as we dive in next, we'll talk about some of the pain points we're seeing with small business today. And the most common question I get as a media buyer and marketing specialist is, hey, how much do we spend on a campaign to meet our business objective? And if you're being an honest marketer, you're never going to tell the client or lie to the client and promise them that you're going to be able to achieve their results 100%, of the time. But starting the conversation with, hey, it's going to take 30, 60, 90 days to learn. And if we spend X, we may get Y in results. And for most businesses, a common place outside of e-commerce is generating foot traffic or leads. If it's a restaurant, they obviously want more dining customers. If it's a loan origination firm, they're looking for customers to either buy a home, originate a loan for that customer at a specific cost per acquisition. If it's a dealer, they're obviously looking to sell vehicles and service vehicles. So understanding what that cost per acquisition is going to look like is very important. And you may have a pulse on averages, but even then, you're never going to promise as a marketer the client that they're absolutely going to achieve results without learning and testing, because we've seen campaigns, frankly, a more recent client that was looking to drive revenue for loan origination was spending a significant sum to drive leads. And frankly, they did generate leads, but the quality of those leads were not where they needed to be. And that was just a matter of audience targeting and creative. But a lot of us overlook as marketers the time it takes to close some of the clients that are seeing your ad, are converting online, but they're not necessarily following through with that end sale. And so for many businesses interested in advertising, it's good to really take into account that, hey, if you're going to spend a couple $1,000s a month to advertise your business, you really want to give it enough time. And it's not just time to generate results, which is sort of, first base, but second base, which is maybe post 3 months from starting that campaign. dialing in whether you need higher quality and less volume or more volume and at a lower cost per lead, whatever it may be for your business to try to hit that objective. So why is that important? It really shines a light on the complexities that we're seeing today for marketers and businesses that want to dip their toes into the advertising space. And things are changing, and they're changing fast. We're seeing privacy rules change, which will have an impact on first party data, third party data, and how advertisers are going to be able to target your ideal audience for your business. We're seeing implications that are still continuing in 2024. It's amazing to see the fragmentation. Fragmentation is the disconnect between data, marketing technology, and the piping, so to say, that exists out there to bring it all together. And there's a lot of fragmentation that exists, especially for small business, but across the board for even enterprise level customers that are looking to tie their customer data to their advertising efforts. And that topic is definitely met with CDPs. It's met with customer data platforms. It's met with how we're handling our CRM and how we're translating that data using our customer data to improve our advertising through delivering the right ad to the right customer with the right message, but also how we're segmenting audiences and measuring success of those audiences over time. So the top kind of issue we see there, right, is we have one particular company that is a CDP. They're looking to set up that technology for a client, and then their existing CRM system either won't translate that data or won't provide the data needed to consolidate, set up the piping that we call it, to send that customer data to the CDP so that a audience can be created with that data, right? Essentially, you're taking your customer list or your data, you're putting it into a database, you're consolidating it, and then you're doing something with that data, whether that's importing it into an ad campaign, an email list that you're going to send an email to, or an exclusion list, right? And we see the most common use case and benefit of CDPs is the ability to suppress audiences that are not going to benefit your advertising campaign in the short term, but maybe have recently purchased, right, a product from your business. And so it's important to exclude those audiences fast so that you're not paying, right, double paying, essentially triple paying, depending on how much that user is seeing your ads. So the big thing with CDPs, again, that we see is sort of this blend between what is the use case, and then am I paying more money to save money in the long term, in the short term? So are you spending upfront more money to save on your media dollars in the short term, but in the long term, ultimately you're getting a better ROI because you're using your data more effectively? And I think the biggest result from that when you implement audience suppression is actually using those audience segments and first party data that's first party to your business, creating campaigns to improve the ad creative and improve the offer so that you generate true lifetime value on that customer. And they're not just coming in and buying your product once or twice. They're there for the full lifetime, right? Buying into your brand because of the way that you've advertised to them over time, and you're delivering the right message at each time that you're looking to advertise to that customer. So CDPs are extraordinarily valuable. And as a marketing agency, we have done a lot to implement marketing technology ourselves that improve reporting and measurement without the fluff. And there's a ton of companies that are trying to play into AI and play into all this technology. But when really you peel the onion back, it's what it's always been. Human analysts, right? Bodies against ad accounts. And that's the beauty of, I think, the agency environment today is there's an opportunity to be the Rolls Royce of marketing in terms of how you're going to deliver service to your client. And the biggest thing that differentiates a real performance marketing agency to just a vendor that is running ads and setting up campaigns is the amount of analytical rigor they're using to find the results and achieve the business objectives that the brand is looking for. And it's really the debate between set it and forget it and going into those ad accounts, and on a weekly, bi-weekly basis, there are levers, right? Changes that are going to be made, whether that's creative, targeting, bidding changes that are being made, A/B testing, right? Those are key areas where brands really drop the ball when they hire, the cheapest vendor on the block to run their advertising that's working with thousands of clients, but not delivering the results necessary because they're lacking in analytical rigor. So big opportunity there. So we'll round this out with, what does that tell us as an advertiser for 2024 and beyond in the next coming quarters is we can spend more money in areas where other advertisers are not playing, especially with the political season coming up. That's going to be important to keep our costs down, right? We don't want to overspend in channels where we're competing against political ads that are driving up the overall CPM, or cost per thousand impressions. And in addition to that, leveraging first-party data, customer data platforms, potentially, if it's cost-effective for the business, to better improve our advertising messaging and also improve how we go to market with our advertising strategy. And with the coming quarters and looking at a lot of the earnings and paying attention to news is how the market is going to continue to double down on diversification for the media plan. So a big area of opportunity there. Now, I think before we let everybody go, it's good to also make sure that when we're auditing our advertising, that we're using the right reporting tools that allow us to, whether it's even just pulling data, raw data into an Excel file and running a pivot table, but really analyzing whether the quality of our advertising is delivering the best results. So quality is going to be a number one focus for the campaigns that we're running into the next couple of quarters. And on our next episode, we'll talk a little bit about case studies that may pertain to ways in which you can improve your quality and ultimately drive a better bang for your buck. So again, Vasilios Lambos with Designing Digital Excellence. If you have any questions or need marketing help, whether that's integrating a CDP or better improving your overall Google Ads campaigns, you can contact us at lambosdigital.com. You could also hit us up on LinkedIn. We are available there as well. So thank you again for listening. And if you've seen any value, please share this to your marketing folks. We would be happy to help support them as well. Take care.